Hello gamers, it's Bree or DEMOBRITA over here on YouTube, also on Twitch, and pretty much all other socials. We're back with another video today. Happy Steam Next Fest, everybody. This is one of my favorite times of the year. I adore checking out so many demos of different types to see what I may enjoy, show what others may enjoy, and that's what we're gonna do this week as well. When this is posted, I will be on vacation. I am in Hawaii celebrating a friend and her partner that are getting married. I have known this friend since we were in college. She was my first college roommate, and I'm so excited to see her and a bunch of other friends that I haven't been able to see in a really long time. With that being said, my plan is to basically film as many demos as I can until I get tired. This is just going to be a generic intro because I'm going to do some voiceovers for all of the demos. I hope you enjoy what you see. If you do like this video, make sure you give it a like. You can leave a comment and let me know what your favorite demo was in this video, or if there's another demo that you think I should try out. What games do you have on your wish list? What are you hoping to try next Steam Next Fest? Let me know. Let me know down in the comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell button below if you'd like to be notified when I post another video. Other than that, I will link my socials below so you can keep up with me everywhere other than YouTube if you'd like. And with that, let's get into some demos. Alright y'all, so the first demo we're going to be showcasing is Hermit and Pig. This is actually a game that I had the pleasure of trying out either last year or maybe the year before, I can't recall. This has been through a few renditions and published as a demo to a specific group of people, and their most updated demo version is now available on Steam Next Fest. This is a turn-based adventure RPG-esque kind of game, and you play it as an old man that is a hermit in a forest, and he lives with his pig that dresses just like him. It's so cute. They have matching hats and glasses, and they go through silly, quirky adventures together while they forage for mushrooms. And there is some storyline about some corporation that is trying to capitalize on the space of the forest, and you start to learn more about it, and it's a really fun time. Honestly, I think this game has had a special place in my heart since I first tried it out. It's just so cute. Like, I don't know, I feel like elderly characters aren't usually part of games, you know? And so I really appreciated that they gave this cute little man the spotlight. And the characters are really quirky, they're super fun. Also, the hermit has social anxiety, which I think is it's such a cute addition to the game. Social anxiety is not cute, of course, but I think having a character that has something that a lot of us struggle with is something that makes it so super relatable, despite the fact that, you know, the plot may not be as relatable. And I just think it's a lot of fun. I love the art style. I think the turn-based combat is really fun. It takes a little bit of getting used to. There is a bit of a learning curve. However, I think that they have some really cool options for anyone who may not be as into combat, or for accessibility reasons may not be able to utilize the timer or maybe press buttons for combos, etc. I don't think I showed it in this demo. Maybe I did, I'm not sure. But they have like simplified combat versions, so you can just, maybe I show it here, I don't know. No, never mind, that was just a tutorial. Oh, here we go. So you can choose between like an easy mode where you can choose, I think you just choose the moves from a menu. There's a normal one, which is like normal difficulty, excuse me. So there's combos you can play with the game, like, you know, pressing the combos or the buttons for combos. You can also do a simplified version where you just choose from a list of the moves. And there was one other one, but I can't recall what it was. All that to say, I really appreciate when developers keep not only accessibility in mind, but just gaming preferences in mind. And sometimes those go hand in hand. A lot of times gaming preferences and accessibility go hand in hand. So if somebody has mobility issues in their hands or something, or are unable to play the game in the default way with the button combos, you can change the difficulty and you can change the combat style, which again, I am super appreciative of. I think that's incredible. But yeah, I played this game for quite some time, and there were a couple of times that it crashed, unfortunately, but it is what it is. It's a demo, you know, it happens. And so that's why I have this in, I think, double speed, because it was a really long demo. It was so long. And yeah, so feel free to, you know, zoom through as much as you'd like. I feel like you still get a pretty good understanding of what the game looks like. And yeah, if you enjoy quirky games, adventure RPGs, turn-based combat, and the ability to change your experience of turn-based combat, I think you'll really like this game. Also, I forgot to mention, there is an option to pause the timer when you're in menus. So if you notice during the combat, I had to go back to the move menu a lot of times because I'm not good at memorizing combos. Oh, this part is so funny. Sorry. This part is so funny. I loved this part so much. We ate a mysterious little mushroom in the forest, and then I pet my pig. And you'll see what happens. This game is so trippy. It's so funny. Like, I love this so much. But yeah, as I was saying, you can enable an option to pause the timer, pause the move timer when you're in a menu, whatever that menu is, whether it's for your inventory, your items, to heal or buff or debuff enemies, buff allies as you're playing, and or if you need to go back to the move sets to refresh yourself of the combos, which I did pretty much every battle, honestly. Like, I can't recall those that easily. So I really appreciated that because it can take a little bit of pressure off when it comes to that timer. So yeah, I think there are some really cool options to customize your gaming experience for this. I think more games should have options like this, even if they're intended to be difficult, like Souls-like games, you know? Just because they're meant to be difficult doesn't mean they shouldn't be accessible. And I stand by that. I think that's all I have to say about this game, so I hope y'all enjoy. Bye! I think that's all I have to say about this game. So for now, I think I'll be yapping a little bit about some media that I have been consuming. So I am a huge fan of horror. I recently got into horror movies starting last year. I wasn't really a fan of horror before then, but I think I just managed to find my niche of horror that I really enjoy. I really enjoy horror that tells a beautiful story sometimes, you know, I can enjoy some that it might be just a little more splatter for the shock, for the fun of it. But I recently streamed Cure 1997 by Kiyoshi Kurosawa in my server, and that is probably my favorite horror movie of all time so far. I think there are a lot more to watch. It is so bleak and depressing and hopeless. There's no such thing as a happy ending in that movie, and I love it. I love it. It's so good, and it's just so bleak. And one thing that I love about Kurosawa's work is he doesn't necessarily rely on jump scares or shock factor, shock value, etc. He really uses ambiance and cinematography to make you feel scared and make you feel creeped out. And Cure is such a masterclass in that. It's so good. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. And then this past weekend, no, it wasn't this past weekend, was it? Yes, it was. This past weekend on Sunday, I streamed another one of his movies in my server, Pulse 2001. Again, Kiyoshi Kurosawa. And this one is definitely more straightforward horror. It's there was a huge surge of techno horror movies in the early 2000s because that was around the time that technology really started to change from what we had in the 90s into what we have now. You know, we had PCs, we had all kinds of stuff that was new, and people were scared. People were very scared of what the implications of this technology could be. And so that caused a boom in techno horror movies. And I think Japan is incredibly masterful at techno horror specifically. And Pulse, without giving too many spoilers, it's about this group of young kids. They're in university. They happen to come across a tape of some kind, and it starts this chain of very unsettling events. And there's ghosts involved, there's heavy themes of loneliness and yearning for connection, not even like romantic connection, just connecting to people. And it is so, it's like the kind of horror that like sinks into your bones. Like every time I watch that movie, I feel awful. I feel like I have like a heavy pit in my stomach, like but it's so good. Like the storytelling is just incredible, and there are moments that are scary. I think Pulse is much scarier than Cure for sure, but both incredible movies. I will definitely be looking for more Kurosawa movies because he just knows how to create a setting. Like it's so good, so good. Other than that, I watched The Wailing on the same day. So I streamed Pulse Sunday morning, and then Sunday night at like 2:30 a.m. while I was actually recording gameplay and stuff like that for this demo showcase, I watched a Korean horror movie called The Wailing from 2016. Phenomenal. Actually, so incredible. It's about a remote Korean village that starts experiencing very weird things after a Japanese stranger visits and starts living in the vicinity. It's very gross. It's very, there's definitely some body horror. There's some lots of fluids to say the least. Lots of fluids. It's very violent, and it's just a beautiful movie. Like it made me laugh. Like there were funny moments. I thought the story was really good. It made me cry. Like actually, I'm not sure that I cried, but I was so sad. It made me so incredibly sad, and it's just incredible. And also I thought it was really interesting to see how the villagers, the Korean villagers, treated this Japanese stranger. And you know, obviously there's some discrimination and some, you could call it racism as well. And I'm not saying that to say that it's not. However, if you have any knowledge at all about Japanese imperialism, they did and are still doing horrible things to Korea and the people of Korea, especially Korean women. You can look up Korean comfort women for some knowledge on just how horrible the treatment of these women was, and the traumas that they're still dealing with. And it was just really interesting, like, to kind of see it flipped, like reversed. So yeah, watching it from that viewpoint was just really interesting. I don't have any other thoughts beyond that. Like, you know, they deserved it, they didn't deserve it, whatever, in the movie, I mean. But it was just interesting, like, to watch it while having that knowledge. So yeah, incredible movie. Definitely gross, definitely violent, so look up content warnings for literally everything I'm talking about. And finally, I just finished watching The Haunting of Hill House. I had to give a moment of silence for that. I just finished watching The Haunting of Hill House literally this morning. I finished the last episode this morning at like 11 a.m., something like that, and got up, went to go talk to some of my family about it because I was so moved and I was heartbroken, I was crushed, and I think that was one of the best shows I've ever seen. My favorite show of all time is Twin Peaks, all 3 seasons, including the Fire Walk With Me movie. That is the best show I have ever seen. It is so fucking weird, and it doesn't use trauma for shock value. It doesn't use trauma to make light of it. It uses trauma to tell a story, to tell one of the most heartbreaking stories I have ever seen. And it's done so beautifully and so thoughtfully and intentionally. And I feel the exact same about The Haunting of Hill House. Like, oh, I had put off watching it because honestly, I thought I would be too scared. But, and it is scary. I'm not gonna say it's not scary. There are definitely some scary moments, but I think the storytelling is the focal point. The characters and the experience of living in a haunted house and the effects it had on them. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. I binged most of the show. I think the show has 8 episodes, I'm pretty sure, 8 to 10. I watched all of it yesterday on Monday. I watched all but the final episode in one day, and then I finished the final episode today because it was like 3 a.m. and I was getting tired, and I was like, okay, I don't want to fall asleep during this. I'll watch it when I wake up in the morning, and that's what I did. I sobbed so much during the last episode. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I think I'm gonna have to make that, like, maybe not a yearly rewatch, but maybe every other year, something like that. I don't know, we'll see, because that was incredible, and I will definitely have to watch more of Mike Flanagan's stuff because it was gorgeous, like heartbreakingly and grotesquely beautiful, so hauntingly tragic and raw and human. I just, it just gives me chills just thinking about it. But yeah, that's all of the media that I've been consuming lately. I think it's just that time of year where I'm really wanting to watch thrillers and horror and stuff like that. So if y'all have any recommendations, please leave them below. I also have Letterboxd. Maybe I should add that to my link tree as well, but I'll also paste that in my please, not me missing all of that. I'll also paste it in the description box below if you would like to follow me and keep up with what I'm watching, keep up with my opinions, all of that. All right, I think that's enough yapping for now. I'm gonna eat some of my breakfast and drink some matcha, and then I'll move on to the next demo voiceover. Yes, I hope y'all enjoy this game, by the way. Okay, I'm sorry though that game started out so loud. It was ridiculously loud when I first opened the game. This is Bittersweet Birthday, and this is a story-driven action adventure. It's kind of like it's a Souls-like game with dodge roll mechanics, bullet hell, that kind of stuff. So because it's a Souls-like game, that means that the enemies have patterns that you have to learn, which makes every single boss fight like challenging, and that means that there's usually like levels to the boss fights. I'm not used to playing Souls-like games at all. They're not my specialty, which you'll see if you watch the entire part of this demo. It's not my cup of tea. Or it's not that I don't enjoy them, it's just that I'm not the best at them, and that pisses me off because I like to be good at games. But anyway, in this game you wake up in this random facility and you have no idea who you are, you have no idea why you're there, no idea what this facility is for. And then there's this voice that comes out through a speaker saying that she's in a control room and she starts trying to help you get out. And throughout the demo you don't really figure out like what is really happening, of course, like it's a demo, but you do get a taste for the combat, for some of the story as well. I think it's a really interesting story. I like some of the character designs as well. The part that I was struggling with was the boss fight though, which you will definitely see. I'm not the best with timing in combat, and that is pretty much everything you need in Souls-like games, especially bullet hell ones, which just means that you are being bombarded with attacks pretty much at every single point. So you have to learn your enemy patterns, figure out how to dodge them correctly, when to time them, and then you have to know when to attack, when the enemy is weak, when there's a pause in a move, etc. And that is difficult. It is very hard for me, honestly. And from what I could gather, there is definitely more story to this. And I think the story is really interesting. So far, I'm very interested to see what... I'm very interested to see where the story goes. Definitely. But I will definitely be struggling with the battle, with the combat, and that's okay. I'm not sure if this is a game I would stream. I think this is a game that I would play on my own time, trying to... I don't think this is a game I would stream. I think this is something that I would play on my own time for sure. And I think that's okay. Like, I'm not sure this is the kind of game that I would enjoy streaming because I'd get so frustrated. And I'd rather just get frustrated and annoyed by myself. So, yeah. But I think that's all I have to say for this game. I don't think it's gonna be for everybody, definitely, especially those that are in my community, but if you do like Souls-like games that might take a little more precision, I think this is definitely worth trying. I had fun with it. I just got frustrated, but you know, frustrating doesn't necessarily mean bad. I think I tried the final boss battle 3 or 4 times and I lost the last time and I was like, whatever. Like, I'm fine. I don't have to finish this. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I think I've experienced the bulk of this game, so I think I'm okay. But yeah, like I said, if you are into story-based, mysterious, Souls-like games, I think you will enjoy this. Just be prepared for the bullet hell. Like I said, it's a lot. The bullet hell is definitely a lot and something I'm not used to, so that'll just take some time. But yeah, again, Bittersweet Birthday, add it to your wish list if this is something that you think you'd like. And for our next demo, this is Opus, Prism Peak. This is a narrative adventure where you play as a photographer who's pretty jaded with life, and I think he's like in his 40s. He's very sexy, by the way. His name's Eugene. He's quite sexy, and he has lived life. He picked up photography after his grandfather introduced him to it, and he's on his way back home to visit for his grandfather's funeral. And on the way, he gets into a car accident. And when he wakes up, he finds himself in this place called the Dusklands, which is, it seems to be a land where kind of like limbo, kind of like, I think it's kind of like limbo. Spirits who are waiting to pass are stuck there for whatever reason. And he meets this girl who is nameless until you find out her name, which is at some point in the demo, and you use your camera to find out the mysteries of the land, find out why you're there, find out what your purpose is. There's a lot of lore for this land, is what it looks like, at least through this demo. I freaking love lore. I am a lore girly, and I really enjoyed it. I played it in the original language in simplified Chinese versus traditional, so you don't get to hear it that well in this showcase because I had to speed it up because it took a while. It took a long time to get through this demo, and I did take breaks, so yeah. But I can already tell that the story is going to be stunning. I can already tell it's going to make me cry, and I'm really excited to play this game when it comes out. I think it's supposed to come out this year, actually, so I would really love to get my hands on the final game.
刚刚你看到的是我小时候的事情。以前爸妈常吵架，我就成了爷爷带大的孩子。他会带我拿着相机到处走，念叨着山是一个王国，但我却想着。后来时间越来越快，老家那地方经过10几年的变化，村里变了，人变了，渐渐的不再像我熟悉的地方。终于，我决定像爷爷一样当个摄影师，带着相机前往城里讨生活。靠着亲友帮忙，又干了几年学徒后，我才终于找到了摄影的工作。那是个好的开始，我也因此认识了很多朋友。没过几年，我也结了婚，婚姻和工作都步入正轨，让我觉得自己是优秀的大人了。然而，就在我逐渐习惯这一切时，我离婚了。虽然沮丧了一阵子，但后来我想想，没关系，我还有工作，还有相处愉快的同事们。工作虽日复一日，但作为生活的全部，倒也算安稳。然后，公司突然就倒闭了，随着铁门落下，干了10几年的工作没了。最后，我和朋友筹钱一起开了间咖啡厅，偶尔还会举办摄影讲座，不靠别人，只靠自己。我觉得或许这才是真正的开始。结果没几年，咖啡厅也关了。回过头想想，自己当初来城里到底想要实现什么，好像也都想不起来了。现在我40岁，几天后是爷爷出殡的日子。想到小时候和爷爷说要当摄影师的情景，于是回家参加丧礼前，我把陪伴我10几年的相机卖了。我曾以为，只要能用相机拍下什么，我喜欢的东西就不会消失。可我终于发现，不论怎么拍，我是这么想的。
于新向吴山中，您将扮演长大后40岁的诱人。故事始于他开车回老家参加葬礼，在途中险些丧命的他，醒来后环顾四周，发现自己孤身处于巨大山脉的世界。唯一在他身旁的是位忘了名字的落难女孩。有人答应帮助对方，带他回到山上的家，但其实迷路的两人都不知要怎么前往那遥远的山。这里仿佛平行世界，没有其他人影，只有能理解人类语言的神秘动物。而他们也不知如何去山上，因为都失去了记忆。但只要有人替他们留影，他们便会重新想起来。他们说， 前往山上的路只有国王才知道，而国王住在铁路的尽头，一个被称为无名城的城市里。现在两人来到了车站，在旅途的尽头，到底会有什么等待着两人呢？
我可不是专门带你去无名城，只是来看看这建筑。
那我先谢谢你了。这是车站吗？哇，这是什么？
喂，你有什么摔坏的感觉吗？
我不懂牛在说什么。
那你记得关于那座山的事吗？
刚知道了山脚有个无名城，那儿的国王能帮我。不知道站台有没有人？火车能开吗？
为什么不用心看我？
又和前面的动物一样，大树这么厉害，快陪他试试。你好，请问有去无名城的火车吗？
喂，听得到吗？
等他开口啦。
你不急着去那座山吗？
你要陪我回家？
总不能让小鬼单独上山吧？笑什么？
没什么。
我是妮萨，你们找我做什么？又不是国王，国王不来，火车是不会开的。你们为什么会有和国王一样的机械眼？
你透露给我的。
假货！你们拿照片给我时，我还以为国王终于来找我了。虽然你的照片让我想起我是谁，但一样。走，我只跟国王说话。
好凶！大叔，你多拜托一下。
还来？火车是不会开的。你旁边这小家伙是谁？他身上有王的味道。
他差点被王吃掉，必须前往无名城才可以消除王的诅咒。
如果是这样，我可以帮你们叫火车，但火车票你们得自己想办法。
大叔，你怎么知道什么王的诅咒？
我乱说的，显得我们可怜点儿。
我不可怜。
是啊，我觉得我比较可怜。
好了，拍不到我就不用再试了。
能换到地图，车票也可以吧？
车站里好像有地方能看到金色的花。大叔，你比想象中可靠呢。 没想到这样就换到车票了。
竟然换到车票了，懂得唐诺萨欢心吗？我就帮你们这一次。为什么拿车票来找我的不是国王呢？你们虽然不是国王，但要坐那边也可以。你们虽然不是国王，但要坐那边也可以。
算了，
那我也坐下吧。火车什么时候来呢？
你王的味道很重。
他嫌你臭，完了，
那我坐你旁边好了。
完了，接下来呢？
一想到国王我就来气。
狗狗，国王听起来很糟糕，你为什么还要等他？我爱国王。
哎呀，大叔是想说，这样你还愿意等他？国王一定有很多优点吧？
你懂国王，你聪明。
是谁帮你拍？算了。
马上就来了。被王碰过的神灵会有股冷冷的、寂寞的味道，然后神灵就会开始忘东忘西，什么都想不起来。国王以前都待在这里，我们是一起长大的。车站是我和他，我干嘛要跟你说？我和国王认识很多年，他总说希望自己能成为更好的王，有一天要前往无名城。但等到出发那天，他却没有带我走，说什么他无法照顾我。他不懂，我才不用他照顾。
妮萨，你想去找国王吗？
我才不要，应该他来找我。
可惜，不然你就可以带着小鬼前往无名城了。
你们到底是谁？为什么对国王那么好奇？
我只是个迷路的大叔，他是……哎，小鬼，你记起名字了吗？当我没说。总之，你给个名字吧。
就叫小莲吧。
听到了吗？这位叫小……你叫小莲？
刚刚蝴蝶飞来告诉我的，还不错。
别开玩笑了，你那名字再想个别的吧。这和我……
各位旅客您好，开往无名城的1484次列车，谢谢靠第一站台，请尽快上车。
我怎么把自己搞成这样？狗狗，我们要上车了，你不去找国王吗？
是他来找我。
好吧，小莲，走了。
谢谢你们陪我聊天。还有小莲，你的味道是摔坏的前兆，你一定要找国王帮你，不然这样下去，用不了几天你就会消失。
这是之前的怪地方。小莲呢？火车呢？我又做梦了。雾气好重。
爷爷，爸妈又吵了。
他们只是聊天，你别管。哎，相机拿好，别掉了。今天我们来拍好照片，记得怎么拍好照片吗？
用心喜欢对方。
你喜欢谁？
爷爷。
哎，手遮到镜头了。你呀，照片如果不能清清楚楚的看见我，爷爷就不知道你喜欢我。
好麻烦。
用心拍，不然爷爷会不见哦。
为什么？
没有什么东西会永远等你拍的。蝴蝶会飞走，水鹿也会躲回森林。喜欢就要拍下来，不然就会不见。爷爷要跑开喽。
不要。我把爷爷留下来了吗？
小摄影师动作最快了。
但我看不到照片。
以后教你洗照片就能看到了。
我还想拍。
胶片刚刚已经用完了。没关系，今天有雾，我们去找被遗忘的山峰，一路上去，说不定能遇到金色云海的古老神明。
要干嘛？胶片都没了。
就想着拍。
爷爷，爸爸说你眼睛不好，不要总在起雾时乱跑，我怕哪天你人不见了。
爷爷不会不见。
谁知道，妈妈每次吵架就会不见。
爷爷不会不见，会陪着你的。找不到我的时候，来山屋找我就好。
车还有5分钟就到。
诱人，走前至少跟你爸说一声吧。
哎，我们吵过太多次，只怕他会拿还没雕的原木砸我，叫我别回来了吧。你们送我到这里就行了。
车票只有1张吗？
王静，我跟你说过了，
我可以照顾我自己，有没有要你帮忙？不喜欢村里的决定没事，我陪你啊。
哎，你们都几年了，带他去吧。
哎呀，我是要去城里做摄影师助理，从学徒做起，还准备跟那些人吵架。你跟着我，没什么好日子。
继续啊。
不是，日子又不好过，不然等我稳定了。
再见。
算了，都几次了。
先说好，我不会等你。
我也没资格。
喂，我在这儿也能吵啊？
好啊，你就继续和他们吵，希望进城后还能看得见我们的山。
我只是希望大家有更好的生活方式，到时候你也能跟着我。
我不想听那些空话和摄影的东西，快点上车。
做得好，因为你用心看了，拍摄的照片才会为你带路。这里逐渐靠近虚渊了，不要逗留，照顾好你的新屋，在它衰化前，快点上山吧。
I used to think if I could just capture it with my camera, maybe the things I cared about would stay. But eventually I realized, no matter what you capture. That's how I see it now. I'm just some guy who got lost. As for the kid, hey, you remember your name yet?
How about Ren then? A butterfly told me. Sounds nice, huh? How do you know about the curse? Hey, Grandpa, what makes a photo good?
You have to care. When you care, at your most.
But I care about everyone.
But first, you gotta learn how to use the camera. Come on.
You're coming with me?
Can't exactly let a kid go off on her own.
I'm not miserable.
Wish I could say the same.
The year is 2030. I'm not gonna be able to read all of that. Anyway, this game is called Ground Zero. This was one of my favorite games that I played during the first day. It is so good. It is an homage to retro survival horror games like Resident Evil. I didn't grow up playing those, but I did grow up with my parents playing, and I like PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2, that kind of stuff. Like, my mom's not a huge gamer, but she loved the Resident Evil games, and I thought this game looked really cool. We saw it in a showcase recently that my friend Jekka and I co-streamed together, and I was like, I'm adding this to my wish list right now. Or it was in a showcase that I think it was actually in a horror showcase that she streamed, and maybe in another one that we streamed together. But yeah, you play as Soyeon, who is an officer. She's part of like the Korean special ops unit, and there was some meteor that crashed in Busan, which is a very large, like huge neighborhood or city in Korea. There's like 4 million people there, I think is what they say in the game. I don't know if that's current, whatever, but it's huge is what I'm trying to say. And there is some kind of anomaly coming from the wreckage of the meteor, and it starts mutating anything alive around it, humans, animals, you name it. And it's scary. I think it's definitely scary. It absolutely gives the same vibes as like old Resident Evil games and other survival horror games. I love that you get to play as a female heroine. She's a baddie shot a clock, and you do have to struggle in this game. This is not something that I'm used to playing. These are not my typical types of games, but I really enjoyed this. You do have to be mindful of like your ammo, mindful of your surroundings. You can play this game with tank controls like the typical retro survival horror games. I hate tank controls, so I chose the modern controls because I don't hate myself that much. And I enjoyed it a lot, actually. I decided to go to the beach because amusement parks, like abandoned amusement parks, scare the fuck out of me. So I was like, I'm not doing that to myself. If this is already gonna be scary, I am not putting myself through that. I did end up having to go through a cemetery anyway, though. So, just saying. And you can also upgrade your weapons by scanning data of you scan genome data of the monsters that you kill, and that basically like racks up points, and you can spend those later on to upgrade your weapons and buy materials and stuff like that. And you have to be really careful you have to balance that. Like the more monsters you kill, the more data you get. This is me like playing around with the controls. The more monsters you kill, the more data you get, but you also waste ammo. You use up ammo, and you know, you might be shit out of luck when you really need that ammo. And yeah, I died multiple times in this. Like, don't get it twisted, I died a lot, and I still had a really good time. I think it's really fun. I think it's a really great homage to older survival horror games that are similar to this, and I will definitely be playing this when it comes out for full release. Again, not sure if this is something I'll stream, but you know, it could, who knows. But it is definitely something that I would love to play on my own time. Definitely like gaming for pleasure, for leisure, however you say it, whatever. But yeah, again, really enjoyed this game. I think there are definitely jump scares sometimes. You have zombies popping out of doors and stuff like that. There are also there's also this like Spanish baddie at some point. Maybe, I hope we kiss later on in the game. That's all I have to say about that. But definitely a really fun game for horror enjoyers, for horror season, etc. Like, I had a lot of fun with this game, and if you're into this kind of stuff, I think you will too. So make sure you try this demo out, put it on your wish list. Put all of these demos on your wish list if you're interested, by the way. Please make sure you are wishlisting these games. That is such a big help to these developers. It lets people know that there are a lot of people interested in these games, and it's one small way to support if you're unable to buy them immediately or whatever the case may be. So yeah. Also, the story was really cool. I was very interested in the story. Like, there are definitely games where I skip a lot of the dialogue, Blue Protocol, and this was not one of those games. So yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about this, and I'm really looking forward to its full release.
Evan, are you there? I just killed a dog. Actually, 2 dogs.
Yeah, I'm here, Sal Young. I'm just in the middle of something right now. Wait a minute. Killed 2 dogs? Were they rabid? Did they attack you? What the fuck happened?
I don't think they were really dogs.
I'm not sure I understand. What are you talking about?
I mean, yes, they were dogs, but there was something really wrong with them. It was like a puppet. I don't know how to describe it. Like the corpse of a dog with one of those growths inside it. I'm not sure if it was still alive or if it was that growth controlling it.
Okay, Sal Young, listen. You sure you don't want any help? You don't have to go it alone.
I'll be fine. Keep going to the power station, but keep your guard up. Something is really wrong with this place. Let's keep in touch. 대체 여기서 무슨 일이 벌어지고 있는 거야?
Sal-Yun! That plant thing! I saw it! I saw that puppet thing!
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good, I think. I don't know. Bad news. It affects people too.
People? You mean...
It seems like it's able to control anything that used to be alive. I'm telling you, Sal-Yun, watch out. Look around you. This place is covered in bodies. This plant thing could be affecting any one of them. Dog, human, fucking whale, who knows what else. How many people live in Busan, Sal-Yun?
4 million.
Oh boy. 4 million zombies, huh? Stay safe out there.
Evan, are you there? I'm at Kamcheon Station. It's one stop away from Changnim. The subway tunnel should be a straight shot there. Do you think I can make it through?
Hey, no, not a great plan. That fucking rock was more destructive than you think. We got collapsed tunnel sinkholes, the works. It's just way too dangerous. Don't do it.
I guess I'm taking the long way around then. I'll cut through the coastal highway on the way back from the lighthouse and meet you at the entrance to Changnim Station.
Got it. Hey, my guys are saying they can run supply trains through the tunnels if you override the controls. That would come in handy.
Do you reckon those trains are safe to ride on? They could really help us get around the city quickly.
Definitely not. No way. If that train falls into the center of the fucking earth, I'd rather you weren't on it. But there is some good news. My team's pretty interested in that genetic material you've extracted from those things. If you send them juicy DNA samples, they'd be willing to cut you a deal for some upgraded gear. Ship fast, first class. The better the genomes, the better the offers. Think of it like a little commission bonus.
Or a bribe.
Well, I guess that is another way of looking at it. But look, we need to find out what the hell's going on here. And they say those genome samples might have the answers. I don't know how all this shit works, but I'm gonna trust my gut
뭐지? 아직도 따뜻해. 최근에 일이 틀림없어.
Hola, Maja.
도움이 필요하십니까? Do you speak English? My name is Soyeon. I'm here to help. Do you need assistance?
Me? Not at all. Do you?
No? Do you want to come down here and talk? I can't guarantee your safety up there.
I'll keep my distance for now. Catch you later, soldadita.
Wait!
Hey, long time no speak.
Evan, I just came across a survivor. A woman, maybe Spanish, but she took off after I questioned her.
Oh, yeah? Well, maybe you should work on your people skills?
This is serious, Evan. Something about that woman didn't seem right to me. She didn't look like a survivor. She was carrying military gear. I think she was a professional. Did your government send in anyone else?
No. I don't think so. Our guys do French. As far as I know, it's just me.
Then what? A tourist who stole military gear? Some kind of sick rubbernecker? Oh, this is bothering me.
Yeah, sounds like she's got you rattled. Look, this mission is bothering me too. Let's just keep going. We'll talk about it when we meet up, okay?
This is Winter Burrow. This is probably the coziest game I played on, I think so. I would consider this the coziest game that I played. Opus Prism Peak was also cozy, but this one just like gave me those vibes, those like cozy, warm vibes. I would describe this as a cozy single player don't starve together. It's described as a cozy woodland survival game about a mouse returning home to restore their childhood burrow, explore, gather resources, craft, knit warm sweaters, bake pies, and meet the locals. Oh, this is actually coming out on my youngest sibling's birthday, November 12th. Aww, this would be so cute. So you get exposed to some story, some backstory for our little mouse, our nameless and genderless mouse. And if you're keeping up with the video, they are moved to the big city from the country to look for an opportunity. Their parents want a big opportunity. Things don't work out the way that they hoped, and unfortunately their parents end up passing away due to being overworked. And before I get into the actual gameplay, I thought that that was such a heartbreaking allegory for just like the American dream and capitalism in general. Like, you really think moving somewhere with more opportunity is gonna help you make it, and it just doesn't work out that way because the systems are not set up to help us succeed like that. Like, it just isn't, and that really made me so sad. But I thought that our mouse main character going back home to the place that they really consider home, I thought that was beautiful. And you come back to your burrow and it's totally run down. Your auntie who lives nearby wasn't really caring for it, but you know, you decide to repair it and make this place your new home now that you are without your parents, and you know, trying to find a new family, a new chosen family. And I thought this was really fun. I liked that the stakes were kind of high as well. It's definitely a less intense survival game. You do have stats to worry about, like heat, or like warmth, I guess, hunger, your health, and stamina. You use your stamina whenever you do anything, whether it's chopping wood, digging with your shovel, chopping like anything for resources. All of that uses stamina, so you have to be very mindful of it. You can craft stuff in your house, you can knit things. You end up knitting a full outfit to build heat resistance, like or cold resistance, sorry. You build cold resistance so that you aren't freezing to death as quickly as you were before making that like cold resistance outfit. And there are insects around that you can fight. There's like little bugs that you can fight. They don't really fight you, but I believe later on there are like spiders, and you can actually turn that option off. I don't know if they replaced it with something else. So if you have arachnophobia, then you can avoid the spiders, which I think is a really cool option. I love that. Thank you for including that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game. It was so fun. It was the coziest game to end my night with. This was the last demo I played. I did try to play something else after this, but it was a little too much work for me at the time because it was really late. This was the perfect way to end the day. It was so cozy. It took a little bit of thought, a little bit of strategy, not too much. It's definitely a very approachable survival game. I would definitely say that. If you are interested in survival stuff but it seems kind of intimidating to you, I think Winter Burrow is definitely a great option for you. And the art style is so cute. Like, I love the art style. I love the music. I love the sounds. Like, it's just so cozy. It makes me feel like I think I like made a cup of corn silk tea before I played this, and it was just Oh, it was beautiful. It was just lovely. I definitely recommend this game. So I think this will speak to a lot of people in my community and maybe folks watching this. And I definitely think you should wishlist this, try out the demo. Again, wishlists do a lot for developers, and it gets the word out there. It lets people know that people want this game. So if you're able to wishlist it, please consider doing so, and definitely give this game a try. Alright, gamers, that is it for today's demo showcase. I hope y'all enjoyed as much as I did. I really liked all of these demos, even if some of them were frustrating, which I think you'll see when I do the voiceovers for all of the demos I played. I did enjoy every single one of these, and I'm excited to continue to record as many as I can before I head out on vacation. So that was it for part 1 of the October Steam Next Fest showcase, and I will be back soon with a few more videos. Hopefully, we will see. If you aren't already following me on my socials, I will leave my link tree below in the description bar. You can keep up with me on all of my other socials there. And if you haven't already, please make sure you give this video a like. Also make sure you subscribe if you'd like to be notified when I post other videos. You can also hit that notification bell button if you want direct notifications. Do all the things. Do all the engagement that you possibly can. Even copy that share link below, and you don't have to share it anywhere. If just copying it counts as engagement. So whatever you can do to help this small creator out would be so appreciated. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, I will be back with another video soon, and I will see you all then. Bye!